Good morning, and thanks for making ekaboom.tv part of your morning routine.
I'm Ruben, and this is Joan Romero, and today we're going to ask the question, should you start a YouTube channel?
All right, let's get down to business. Should you start a YouTube channel?
I don't know if we can answer that for you, but we are going to try.
But we'll at least talk about it.
Whether we can or not, we will try. I think a lot of it depends on yourself as an individual. I think you're going to see a lot more YouTube channels popping up. And so I think it's a great time to start a YouTube channel. I guess that's why we have our own YouTube channel. So it's a great time. There's a great opportunity to do it. And, starting today, think about where you're going to be in 3 years. You can't think of it as like, I'm going to start it today and then 6 days I'm going to have 1 million subscribers. Chances are that's not going to happen. But start it today and grow it and see what happens in a year, 2 years, 3 years, and maybe you will have millions of subscribers and millions of views. So I mean that's absolutely possible. But besides all of having all those subscribers and views, really I think what it comes down to is that you probably have interesting things to share, and there's probably people out there that want to hear it. Now, we may or may not be the people that want to hear what you have to say. We may be totally uninterested in everything that you have to say, and we may think that everything you say is a complete waste of our time. But there are other people out there who won't think that. And conversely, you may make a YouTube channel and you talk for 30 seconds and we are completely enthralled and subscribing and all of those kinds of things. So you just never know. But there is an audience out there, I think, for everyone. So should you start a YouTube channel? I think there's really two questions when that comes up. So the first one is what?
Do you want to?
Do you want to? Yeah, that's really the big one. Do you want to start a YouTube channel? Because if you don't want to, then...
Yeah, especially if you're thinking, okay, 3 years down the road, if you're like, oh, if I have to be doing this 3 years from now, then maybe you shouldn't.
You shouldn't start a YouTube channel.
Be a guest on someone else's YouTube channel.
Yeah, at the most. At the most. But don't...
Then you'll have something online you can share a link to.
Yeah, I think it'll... I mean, we do this because we have fun doing this. This is fun for us. So, whatever, we make the time and we make the effort because we enjoy doing it. So we want to do this. So do you want to? And again, it doesn't have to be a huge commitment. It doesn't have to be 10 minutes or whatever like our shows are. It can be 30 seconds. It doesn't have to be in any particular format. You don't have to be in front of the camera. You don't I mean, some people are worried about that. I know that's a big concern. Some people don't want to because they don't like the way they look in front of a camera or don't like the way they look. Well, first of all, most of the time you're the only one that really cares the way you look, because other people don't care how you look. If you are providing value and are entertaining or whatever, then people don't care how you look. I mean, there's lots of entertainers out there that aren't, drop dead, 10 movie star, perfect everything. But they're entertaining and they're fun or they're interesting or they're, compelling in some ways. They're a great actor or whatever they are. Most people don't really care the way you look. And you don't have to do a YouTube channel that shows your face. You could do a YouTube channel that interviews people or takes it out on the street, whatever. So that would be my advice there. What's the second? Or do you have more to add to that? To whether you want to or not? No. So what's the second thing? What's the second reason why?
Time. Some people say I don't have time.
That would be the second big question for you. And
do you have time?
Often my clients will ask me, should I do this or shouldn't I do that? And my first questions are always, do you want to? My second question is always, do you have time to do it? If they want to do it, but they don't have time, then I say, then there's nothing you can do. However, there's always time. There's always time to find. Some of my favorite YouTube channels are people, just doing things on the fly. There's one that I watch, and it's somebody, he's in his car during his commute. It's probably his camera phone. He's just recording himself talking about what he thinks about the world and what's going on and his opinions and whatever. It's a great channel, and maybe his shows are 30 seconds and sometimes they're 10 minutes or half an hour, but he's just making time when he has downtime, in his commute. So
So you can customize it. You can make it work for you. If you don't want to be in front of the camera, don't be in front of the camera. If you just don't have time to sit down during the day, then take it with you as you walk around or drive around.
Yeah, so there's tons of options. So I think really the big one is, do you want to do it? Do you want to do it? If you want to do it, you should do it. And I think there's a huge opportunity right now that will not be there in the future. Maybe it takes 3 years for your YouTube channel to get any traction. And so it's important that you want to do it. But if you do want to do it, I don't think that market is saturated. I don't think, there's not a ton of people out there, talking about every single niche that's online.
And even if they are, people want to hear different opinions. So they want to hear about the same thing from different people to see what different people think.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. There's nobody, you can't think, oh, well, that person already does it, so, nobody needs me. But you do it different. When I taught classes, when I taught college classes, often I would give my students, when they had a final project or they were looking for ideas or whatever, I'd tell them, hey, look, here's a great idea, go and do this. And I would tell them exactly what the idea was as their teacher, because I knew in the end what I told them and what they heard and what they end up doing would be different, because they would take what I was thinking and they would twist it and make it their own and make it into something that would have been completely different than the way I would have done it personally. So everyone's going to take their twist. They're going to take whatever twist they have on something and make it their own and make it unique. And so don't worry about if other people are doing it. That doesn't matter. You can still do it. And it's a great way to get exposure, to get out there. If you're a business, it's a great way to get in front of people. And maybe you only have 100 subscribers, and that's okay. Because that means you're in front of 100 people, and that's pretty awesome. So, maybe some random person finds you and they become a new client and they refer other clients. So, there's huge rewards to doing video because people get to know you before they ever meet you. We had a client that we worked with, and he's a contractor, and we did a bunch of videos for him. And, put him on his website. That was pretty much it. When he went out to do a quote for someone, they were shocked. They were like, oh, whoa, it's you. You're the guy from the video. This was not a movie star. This is a local contractor. We did some videos. They were pretty basic, simple. I think we just filmed them in front of his house. And, people were still surprised. They were still a little bit starstruck by the fact that this contractor was the guy who actually came out to do the quote for them. It wasn't some other person. So there is some authority and status that comes with doing that. So, if you have that desire, then I think absolutely you should start a YouTube channel. Start it today.
That's what I was going to say was don't wait, because the timing's never perfect. Like, oh, I can't start today. I have an itch in my throat. Oh, I can't start today. My shirt's wrinkled. Oh, I can't start.
I have a pimple.
Just
right?
start. Just start. Also, one of my favorite filmmakers says, like, your first 12 films are the worst, so just make them. Just go get your first videos
Unless
out
it's in our case, where it may be the first, 50,000 ones that are the worst
movies.
ones. Right.
So maybe it's time-wise, so we can have several hundred videos.
Right. So if our videos are bad, it's just because we're trying to get to our 50th video that finally is good. So someday we'll get there. We're hoping.
So hang in there with us.
Yeah, and the other thing is don't worry so much about making mistakes. There are times when we'll redo a video because we make a mistake, and there's other times we'll redo a video because we want to add something. In fact, this video, we did a previous video. This is the second take because we really wanted to do talk about some things that we hadn't talked about in the first one. So now that's showing you a little bit behind the scenes here, because we don't always do multiple takes. We just let it go. You know, we want to do a YouTube channel, but we're not going to do it for the most part 50 times for each episode.
Yeah, we don't have that much time.
We don't have that much time. This is how much time we have, and this is what you get from us raw. Here we are. So, and I think people can appreciate that as long as you're providing good content and sharing something that could be potentially useful to them.
Yeah, so share your thoughts with us in the comments below.
Are you going to start a YouTube channel?
If you have,
you should start it.
Share a link.
Let us know. We may like it and we may not, and that's okay.
Thanks so much for subscribing, liking, and sharing your thoughts in the comments below.
Have a great day.